Okay, how are we doing, everybody? Let me know in the chat if we all good. Been really fun. I'll just say that. Um, and yes, we got I need to make this, as long as copyright is good, I need to make this a sounder, honestly. Um, by the way, if my eyes are a little weird, I don't know if they are or not. I don't know if they look good or not. I literally, a minute before, I actually have the cases here, had to put new contacts in because I lost my contacts from before. So we are having a good one right now for sure. It is 5:15 or a little after 5:15 Central, 6:15 Eastern. Race is going to start in about roughly an hour 15, I believe. And let's talk about a lot of this. We're going to be on here probably about 45 minutes or so. We'll just roll with it as we go. I'll keep an eye on what you guys are saying in the chat. We'll talk about those who might be spoilers, those who might be spoilers for different reasons, weather, all of that stuff. So let's roll into it. First off, let's go through the starting lineup for tonight. The Coke Zero Sugar 400. Ryan Blaney. Now, again, this is not including those that have to go to the back. All right, we'll get to that in a moment, especially the really big one having to go to the back. Ryan Blaney and Alex Bowman are row one. Larson and Logano, then Cindric Hamlin, Austin Dillon, and William Byron in eighth, who is going to the back and got caught with some infractions, going to be down a couple men tonight. Briscoe Brad, then Barry Suarez, 11th and 12th, Zane Smith, Kyle Busch, that is row 7. 15th is Bell, 16th Hocevar, SVG 17th, 18th Gibbs, 19th Ross, 20th is McDowell, then Allmendinger, Bubba, Ty Dillon, Buescher, and Stenhouse, the top 25. Eric Jones, Reddick, Gilliland, Custer, and Elliott, the top 30. 31st is Priest, then Gregson, 32nd, Herbst, 33rd, John Hunter Nemechek, 34th, Cody Ware in 35th, 36th, Austin Hill. There's a lot of y'all call him the Big Bully. Then you got Haley, McLeod, Mears, and Yaley. That is the 40 car field for tonight. We'll let that roll down on the bottom. And there is, of course, one big points talking point tonight. We talked about it a little bit on Wednesday night. We'll have it again here. The cut line at the moment is Tyler Reddick and Alex Bowman, 29 points apart between the two of them. Because there is no mathematical way that these two get knocked out of the top 16 in points as we go, or Gase is in the 44. Okay, Gase in the 44. Not that it's going to matter. They're going to be completely irrelevant anyway, but I guess I'll put it and make it right. I honestly don't care. But there's no mathematical way these two get knocked out unless there is a new winner. It can be changed. There can be a lot when it comes to craziness at Daytona points wise that could flip these two. And if there's a new winner, then we have a little bit of a conundrum afoot. But I kind of want to know, and I'm going to make it a poll in the chat now. Yes or no answer. Do we see a new winner tonight? And it's simple. I get it. And I know you guys don't like the yes or no polls. But at this point, it's pretty simple what everybody has to do. Everyone, for the most part, has to win tonight. Win to get more points, win to get in, win to solidify your spot in, win for the hell of it. Do we see a new winner? So far, a lot of you saying yes. Just letting you know what I said on Wednesday night, and I have it on my Twitter account right now for NWP picks. I got my number one pick this week of William Byron. He is going to the back because of failing pre-race inspection or Saturday inspection, or not for Saturday. It is Saturday, Friday. So that's going to be difficult on that part. But I think we get William Byron as the winner tonight. He's the most consistent so far in the next gen era when it comes to the super speedways. So there is that. But we do have a lot of other storylines to look at with this. So I kind of want to talk about each team going into this. Like or load the playoffs, it has a huge, huge impact on what's going on tonight. And by the way, we'll put on the bottom the way that the points are looking now. Not that it really matters. Again, at this point, we pretty much after the 15th, 16th battle, we know what we got. But I want to go kind of point by point here. We'll start with 23-11. They have one in right now with Bubba Wallace, locked in, that is. Then there's Tyler Reddick, who is in, but not really in yet. And then there's Riley Herbst, who's kind of the black sheep of this all. Now, I think that for the most part, the goal tonight, if Herbst gets up there, sure, that's great for them. They get somebody else in there, but I think the goal tonight is to get Tyler Reddick in. He is going to be, I believe, I swear I was trying to hit something else. I believe, let's see, Herbst will be 33rd. Reddick would be 27th on the grid. So they're going to be in the back. There's going to be a ways to get up there. That is going to be, I think, it's going to be difficult because I think gridlock is going to be a thing tonight. I think fuel saving, maybe not in the first stage. Maybe it'll be in the first stage just to have a shorter pit stop, but fuel saving is going to be a big deal tonight. And you're going to have to get up quick early on if you're able to get that track position early. On the other end, the Alex Bowman side of it, he has the advantage of all his teammates are in. So hypothetically, you would think that the 5, the 9, and the 24 would do everything to help the 48. Now, we've seen Hendrick Motorsports have great teamwork before and get their guys up there. We've seen them have bad teamwork before. Or we've seen, for instance, I bring it up. One of the reasons I pick William Byron is he will ditch his teammates to go for the win. So that is something to watch. And by the way, stop spamming. Just stop spamming. Stop being stupid. Mods have you guys have every right to treat people being stupid how they will. Do whatever, mods. You have my discretion to do whatever the hell you want. Maybe I don't know, maybe it's because I've had a long day or something, but I'm just not in the mood for bullshit today. Whether it be the race or whether it be crap in there. I'm not in the mood for your petty drama in there and other stuff. Let's talk about the race itself. Okay. But let's also talk about the other part. So we got the two that are in. For a moment, we'll talk about the guys that are in outside of that, as well as others that are out. But first, I do want to talk about the weather for tonight. People are going to be talking about it. I have an hour by hour up on my end, and it looks like early on we will get racing in, hopefully. Again, every time I say this, I'm wrong. So I guess I should probably send in an application to the Weather Channel. I probably should at this point. But looking at the hour by hour, it looks like we should be good to go at the start of the race for the first probably 2 or so hours. The likelihood of rain picks up around 9 local time, about 2 hours in roughly. With that, what it means is that we have, we're going to have probably light rain show up around 9 based on what the Weather Channel is saying, National Weather Service. Probably very light, almost maybe misting rain. The biggest stuff is not going to be around us. It's going to be, it's going to be going north and south. It's been splitting us for the most part, been splitting the racetrack. From there, though, it's going to be probably light rain showers until about roughly 11:30 at night. The halfway will happen. I have no doubt that it'll happen tonight. It's looking like for the most part, the bad stuff, the bigger storms will be out of here. And with that, we're hopefully, knock on wood, it goes around. You know what? I don't believe in vortex theory, but I hope it's real. Okay, I do. I hope it's real, and I hope that we get, I hope we get it all. in at that point. I hope that we just get it going and roll right at the start. I wouldn't be surprised if we have like a very quick bang bang, pre-race into it, two or three laps of pacing and then go. I've seen NASCAR do that before where they're like bang, bang, quicker, get it done. So that's the weather we're looking at. Anyone else comes in asking about weather, let them know in the chat what we got going on or what it's at least looking like. And it could change. It's Florida, man. It's Florida. All right. It could be completely fine and then all of a sudden pop up. Last night, the crew chiefs were talking about it, how there was just almost popcorn popping up, pop all over the place. That could totally happen tonight, and we could be just like on again, off again, back and forth, weather-wise. Real quick, I want to thank Zena for the 10-month member chat. That's awesome. I love seeing the member chats in there. But thank you, Zenith Harris, for the member chat, for being a member of the channel that long. Let's see. There you go. 3 words. I guess 4 words technically, but yeah, 3 words. It's Florida weather. It is Florida weather. 3 words, 4 words, doesn't matter words. It's Florida weather, man. And yeah, I mean, you're seeing right here, this is about what it looks like. It's going to be probably about 40% chance around 8:30 to 9 o'clock. And then it's going to pick up a lot. And we're going to go, basically just be playing it by ear with the weather. I hate the weather game. I do. But it's just, that's the battle we play at Daytona every time, whether it's the Daytona 500, the 400, back in the day, what's crazy is back in the day, people had talked about how Bill France Jr. Had to have made a deal with the devil because for some reason outside of like 2003 during his time, rain just managed to always avoid Daytona during these races. Like it didn't matter whether it was the 400, the 500, rain. Like they were like as many major delays for fire as there were for rain over like a 10 to 15 year span of time. That is not here anymore. We have definitely been cursed since roughly 2009. You look at 2009, there was 2012, 14. We did, I guess, because I think 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 were all right. Then I was there in 2020 and 2021. And it's been sort of off and on. It's just, man, I just want to get a Daytona race in. I want a good Daytona race with no damn rain or any of that stuff. But beggars can't be choosers on this. Let's talk about the strategy for tonight. It's winning. Everyone's going to be going for broke tonight. And I think there's a wild card team or alliance of teams that need to be watched for sure. Right. So we talked about 2311. We talked about Hendrick Motorsports. Now there is, again, those top 14 guys that all could be gunning for wins to get more points. The 14 that have already won, and you'll see them on the bottom: Hamlin, Van Gisbergen, Larson, Bell, Byron, Elliott, Blaney, Briscoe, Logano, who's somebody to watch tonight, Chastain, who's I think someone to watch tonight, same with Bubba Wallace, Cindric, Barry, and Austin Dillon. Like there's all those that you can watch tonight with it. We talked about Reddick, we talked about Bowman, we talked about how they're rolling. But there's I think it's going to be interesting to see who values what. Regular season championship is locked up, but there's still points from 2nd to 10th to be earned by a lot of different ones tonight. I can look it up on my end right now really quick. The point standings. Yeah, I mean, Byron has the regular season title, so he's just going for gravy at this point. But Chase Elliott is 5 points ahead of Denny Hamlin for 2nd, 3rd. You have Larson, who's pretty close, Blaney, who's close, Bell, who's really close. A bit of a gap to Reddick, and again, if he makes it, he would probably more than likely get top 10 points. Same with Alex Bowman. Chase Briscoe is right between both of them in the points side of it. The top 10 in points, there's Bubba Wallace, if Buescher is to make it in, he still has a chance at the top 10. So does Joey Logano, and a long shot chance for Ryan Preece and Ross Chastain tonight if things go right. So there are points to look at. I doubt NBC is going to look at it because I don't think NBC actually gives a damn about the points battles anymore. They just care about winning and the simplicity aspect. And it is simple tonight for pretty much everybody is win. So there is that. Let's see. Looney69 saying Chris Buescher with win, I hope. Also, I'm alive, L Trolls. Yeah, I could totally see Buescher pulling this one out. Those RFK Fords have shown speed, and I'll talk about them in a moment. Lawson also saying most nervous I've been for the 48 since 2020. I was there at that race. I'm not at this one. So if it's a change in fortunes for the 48 team, maybe it's that I'm not there this time. Talking about the others here, there's one that's I think interesting is Kaulig. Now the news came out today of Kaulig going to Ram for the truck series. They'll have a 5-truck team with a multitude of different drivers. And I'm not talking about this just because it's a big story to talk about, not because, more than likely I'll probably have some kind of video out about talking about it, or at least NWP on Wednesday, but maybe a video tomorrow about it. I'm not just talking about to talk about it, but more just it's going to be interesting, and fair point, funded by Ram. What's interesting is we've seen this stuff happen before where a team will switch to, say, back in the day, Toyota. They'll have zombie Chevys, as we called it, or back then it was a zombie Dodge, funny enough, for Michael Waltrip Racing, or I believe Bill Davis Racing too. I think there was like that alliance, right? So I'm interested to see what happens with the 10 and the 16 tonight, because it's pretty sure and seems pretty certain that we're going to have Dodges, right? They're going to have Dodges at some point. I get it. It's not the same company, all that. So, they're different. Like, I get that, but we all know where this is leading to. They've been marketed, Dodge and Ram been marketed side by side. They've been marketed as almost a building block package deal. We know where this is leading at this time. And what I'm interested in is I don't think that there's probably, especially as this goes, especially through the next year or two before Dodge enters into the Cup Series and Xfinity Series like we're thinking, I wouldn't be surprised if Kaulig doesn't basically get no support or little to no support from the fellow Chevrolet teams. So they might be mercenaries out there. They're going to probably, I would assume, draft with each other, but probably draft with whoever the hell is open to be like, I'll take any drafting partner possible. That I think is going to be interesting because they could work with pretty much anybody out there. RCR, right? They have Austin Dillon in. Austin Hill is in the race, but let's be honest, the focus tonight is probably on Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch has been good at these races in the next gen era. He was so close last year. He almost won Daytona a few years ago for the 500. Kyle Busch is probably the main focus tonight. I think Austin Dillon will probably be decent enough. He's been pretty good at Daytona and Talladega in the past, has had speed, same with Kyle Busch. But I have a feeling the 8 is going to be the big push at this time. So I don't know, man. I'll ask y'all in a moment who you think will win. I know everybody's going to say it's going to be, so-and-so or so-and-so or so-and-so that everyone always says. There's a reason, though, that the people we're talking about are on the outside looking in. Trackhouse, you have the odd man out right now, both of the team and the playoffs. Daniel Suarez, the 99 has been, I'll just say this, they've been awful this year. The 99 team has been terrible this year. They've had brief flashes. Suarez has had a season with some brief flashes up a little bit, but he's not been good. No bueno, not good at all. There's a reason that Connor Zilic, and that's another big story for tonight. There's a reason Connor Zilic is replacing him next year, whether in the 99 or not. There's a reason that Trackhouse does not want to continue on with him. He has been mediocre at best pretty much his whole career. Great guy, good person, just not getting it together as a NASCAR Cup Series driver. But I do think that the working relationship between Kaulig and Suarez is still good enough that I wouldn't be surprised if the 88 and the 1 are directed to work together to help that 99 in, get every one of the 3 Trackhouse teams in as their first full year with a 3-car team, get them all together. And Trackhouse has shown speed before. We saw, I think Ross Chastain won Talladega before a few years ago. So I mean, there's speed with these cars, but I don't know if Suarez is would be the one to be able to close that out. Joe Gibbs Racing. They got one man that they can put the whole organization around, and I guarantee you they have, because they've literally said that they have. Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs is going to probably be the main focus tonight. He has had speed at Daytona, crashes a lot of the time. But you know what? If we do have rain or mist or whatever, and they don't push it late into the night, because I think they'll probably go, into, I think they would probably get past halfway, but I don't know how far into the night they're going to push it or how far NBC is going to want to push it. So, anything can happen at halfway or past halfway. With that, though, you got the 11, the 19, the 20, they're all in. It's pretty simple to me. That Ty Gibbs will probably be the main factor to push. The interesting fold in this is Denny Hamlin has 2 cars that will need aid. He has said before on his podcast he will choose a 2311 car over Ty Gibbs, over Joe Gibbs Racing, over even if Toyota was pushing for the 54 over the 35 or the 45. Important to note, too, by the way, and Bob Pockers put this out, Alex Bowman does have the tiebreaker on Tyler Reddick for best finish so far this year. So, that is something else to look at. Bob Pockers also has updated that Bowman's team saw an electrical glitch and went through a series of checks. I think they'll be okay. Didn't make any serious changes, so they'll be able to keep their position on track. But already some gremlins we're looking at when it comes to the 48 team, when it comes to the way that these strategies would go about. But again, going back to saying it, Denny Hamlin, I don't know if I trust him if it hurts a 2311 car to stick with the 54 tonight, let alone anybody else. RFK, right? All 3 of them right now are out of the fight. You see on the bottom, Buescher's the closest, and he's almost a full race back at this time. You got Priest, who's out, but that team has had a lot of speed. He just has so much bad luck. I love that he plays into the meme with the astronaut stuff, too. And then you got Brad Keselowski, who's out, but is one of the best super speedway racers. Definitely one of the best of this era, but one of the best ever. When you just look statistically, especially at Daytona, he is much better at Daytona than much like, well, no, he's actually, I think he's better at Talladega, but he's still really damn good at Daytona, consistency wise, compared even to his teammates. I'm going to say this though, right? I think Brad Keselowski is the one that's least likely to get that win, right? And I see people in the chat that are saying Brad Keselowski won this race or he's going to win this race. I'm going to say this. I think he's the least likely of the RFK cars to win, because I think Brad's going to try and help one of his cars. I think he's going to try and help the 60 or the 17 tonight. I think that's going to be a big push on his part. And he's kind of talked about, and he's shown before, that he is willing to sacrifice some of his own performance in order to help the team out. I mean, we saw how the 6th team, just like was gutted to help the other teams, and how that started the year and why he's in this position at this time. If you look since pretty much the start of the prime portion of the year, he's been really, really fast in the summer. But he's in such a big hole after the start of the year. I would probably pick Buescher out of these 3, and then Priest, and then Brad. If we're just going straight off of who I think is good enough to get on up there, I'm going Brad Keselowski, just because Brad is one of the best, and you can't count him completely out. Spire, Haley, McDowell, Hocevar, all needing to get in. I would go McDowell as the one I'd probably think would get it, honestly. But then you got Hocevar, who in my opinion is a huge wild card. right? Huge wild card in anything he does. He could cause a 30-car wreck. He could end up winning this thing. He could flip. He could, just have an electrical issue. With Hocevar, anything that could happen this year or anything that can happen has. Haley, I think, is overlooked. While I think McDowell has a better chance, while I think Hocevar could be crazier, Justin Haley has been pretty good in super speedways before as well. He's good in the draft. I think that he's somebody that you can't count out in this. Do I think he's a favorite? No, I don't. But he's somebody that I think could strike if the surroundings and if things are really set up well for him. Front row has Gregson, Gilliland, Zane Smith. That 38 team has had everything bad happen to him. Gilliland has shown speed at super speedways, can't really close it out. And then Gregson, I don't know. The only thing I've seen of Gregson this year is that meme of him where it has Freebird playing as he's entering the corner at Coda. And then you go into another car and you just have Freebird start playing and you see him fly across the screen and then Freebird comes out or fades out. Like, that's all I've seen of him this year. I personally don't expect any of these three really to be the main ones out there, simply for one big reason. You have some of the other Ford teams. You have Rick Ware Racing, Cody Ware. You have Cole Custer. Ford has speed, sure. But I don't trust either of them personally. You have Legacy's duo. Nemechek has been insanely consistent at Daytona in the next gen era. Eric Jones has won this race before in his run up front. There are two options to look at. Hayek. Sounds like I'm just clearing my throat. Oh my. I love this. Just for the creativity. I know it's something everyone does, but just for that, I'm going to pop that one up. But you have Hayek with Stenhouse all on their own. They're going to be interesting, and I talked about them in my video earlier this week, I believe it was. They're going to be interesting because they're a single car team. Stenhouse will work with pretty much anyone out there. I don't think that there's a big push manufacturer-wise to get him up there. I think that he's going to have a really tough road ahead of him to get up through the field. But there's the big wild card. There's somebody I haven't talked about tonight because every one of their cars and affiliated cars are locked in. And that is Team Penske. Cindric, Blaney, Barry, Logano. 4 drivers who could all wreck out at the front, but they'll probably be at the front for a lot of this race. Cindric, he has shown a lot of maturity at super speedways. Denny Hamlin's talked about it. Kyle Busch has talked about it. A lot of people have praised him. A lot of people are probably going to draft with him tonight if the chance arises to do so, to get up towards the front, because he has shown that ability to keep his cars up front, not cause big accidents, be smart. Those things are incredibly valuable with how stupid some of these guys act towards the end of these races. When you look at Ryan Blaney, he's another one that I think a lot of people can really, really trust up there, who is going to be able to draft well. Barry is done well, but he's definitely these 4 the weakest link of them. But Barry is somebody I think to watch with that as well. Joey Logano, there's a reason the meme is out there that Joey's going to throw a block 5 wide and cause up the big wreck. Even if he's not really even at fault for a lot of it, he's going to put his nose where it probably isn't supposed to be or fit. And it could cause a wreck. We had this talk before at the Daytona 500 with Joey Logano. And I have no doubts he's going to do the same thing again. I would not be surprised if that one account on Instagram doesn't have a great clip tonight. And I don't know if they'll probably use Rick Allen's voice to call him Lagooner again, because he did something on track. To me, Team Penske is the one team out there, when you look that everyone's in, their affiliated car is in, everyone out there has something to lose tonight but them. They're going to go freaking buck wild on the field. They're going to go for broke. I wouldn't be surprised if at least 2 of them are wrecked. I wouldn't be surprised if at least two of them are running for the win at the end. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's Joey Logano and Austin Cindric, if it's Ryan Blaney and Josh Berry, if it's Berry and Cindric, Berry and Logano, Berry and Blaney, Blaney and Cindric, Berry, Blaney and Logano. It doesn't matter what duo or trio or whatever. They'll be fast enough to be out there. All right. They'll be fast enough to be up there running for the win, going for broke. And with them having nothing to lose, I fully predict tonight, and I know a lot of the garage has talked about this, people I know at the track that have been talking to those teams, drivers, and such have said that this is the common thread. Pretty much everyone's out there saying, yeah, this is going to be nuts. This might be a wreck fest. This might be a long race because we're going to have to deal with so many issues, so many people crashing, so much, the big one, all of that. It's going to be something that is going to be kind of crazy with that side of it. I fully agree too. I think we're going to probably have a wreck fest at some point tonight. I think what's probably going to happen is we'll probably have, I would assume, a clean first stage. We're going to have a decent sized wreck in the second stage. And then the final stage is going to just be destruction. Just absolute destruction through the field. I think we'll probably see a flip tonight, knowing the next gen car. There is the flaps on the A post. No, I got to see this at the R&D center a couple of weeks ago when I was out there. Those flaps are actually a lot bigger on the car than TV makes it look. They might actually make a big difference if a car gets pushed sideways in that way. I don't know if it'll make the biggest difference just because the flat underbody, it's liftoff. It's like the wing of a plane underneath the car. And their takeoff is at a much lower speed than the Cup cars will be going when they spin it around. But hey, hopefully it helps. Hopefully it does. I just hope it's not Priest that goes around this time and flips, man. I really hope it's not him. Like he deserves to have a really good race, a competitive race, and not be just obliterated out there. Real quick, I want to remind y'all, we'll be live after the Cup race. I'm going to put the link up probably around right before green, when they get racing. So if y'all want to hang out through the night too after this, that is an option. A lot of people like to hang out, and it's a lot of fun watching y'all. And then Wednesday night we'll be live on this channel, NWP, Eric and Danny for sure. 90 to 95% sure we'll have a pretty nice and fun guest. But I don't know if I can say who it is yet. All I know is I always have to let you know before, it's not a YouTuber. It's everyone always, when I say guess, like, oh, it's gonna be so-and-so or so-and-so. Like, no. Guess away. I see a lot of people have come on in here. How is the weather looking? Nice profile pic, by the way. I will re-up this because it's been about a half hour since I've talked about it, maybe a little less. But at the moment, and let me refresh on my end just to see if there's been any updates in it. At the moment, we should be high and dry, ready to go, racing at the time of green, which I have the local time up right now because it's almost 7 o'clock local time. We'll get it going around 7:30 local time. We should be good for about an hour and a half, and then it's supposed to be light rain and mist that could be rolling through the area, pop-up showers around 9 local time. So about an hour and a half into the race is when at least the weather forecasters are saying that we could have these issues, these problems with the weather, and it'll go to about midnight local time. I don't know if NBC is going to want it to go that late if rain comes in and starts being an issue. But just letting you know going in, it's going to be, it'll be similar to the way people were with Xfinity last night, where it could pop up at any point. I don't know for sure if it will or not. Now we have a few stories to talk about, and I've touched on them before, but I will roll through the super and member chats first before we go into it, just to kind of make sure we're not, having too much of a super chat cooldown lap like we do on the post race shows. Let's see. Looney69 saying, what are you going to do if Cody Ware wins? I did not mention Cody Ware. There's been a lot of talk about him. If Cody Ware wins this race, man, you thought the blow up for Harrison Burton was bad. If Cody Ware wins this race, fudge is all I'm going to say. And I won't be saying fudge in the words of Ralphie. It will be a blow up like we have never seen before. And with all of the talk around playoffs, with all of the talk around scheduling and things like that, it will be crazy. Now, I think anyone can win in the draft, and it seems like they brought a much better car than usual. They put like all of their eggs in this basket. But I'll say if he wins, oh man, I might have a live stream of Twitter for the next day up there, and I'll just like stream it for 24 hours or something like that. Last year Harrison Burton's win was very much criticized. I think is the best way to put it. It was very criticized because of the playoff aspect. He had been terrible all year, and then he gets to compete for a championship with, let's be honest, really no merit behind it. He's not competing for a championship. He's just taking up a spot. But I will say that a year later, when we talk about that win, we don't talk about the playoff side of it because, in my opinion, the playoff side of it doesn't have much staying power or sticking power. What we talk about is a driver getting his first win in amazing upset fashion with an amazing call from Lee Diffie, with his father watching in the booth, calling him home in what is probably going to be one of the defining moments of the 2020s for NASCAR. Do I put this like on the Dale and Dale level or like Michael Waltrip and Darrell Waltrip? No, because Jeff was keeping himself very contained and professional until it happened because he knows Daytona. He knows how it could happen. He knows this package and crazy stuff and wrecks can happen. But the emotion from that was not playoff related. There was no standing with that finish's legacy a year later, 5 years later, when it'll be 10, 15. When we look back in that moment, nobody is going to be saying Harrison Burton was 33rd in points and made it in the playoffs with a win at Daytona. We're going to look at it and say Harrison Burton got an amazing upset win, passing Kyle Busch for the win. He was in front of, his entire family. His father was in the booth calling him home, and it's going to be a great moment we all talk about. Like that's how it's going to look in 5-10 years. Doesn't matter if we have the same system or not. Doesn't matter any of that. People are going to look back kindly on that moment compared to the way it was looked at in the moment. If Cody Ware wins, I don't know, because Cody Ware is much more polarizing. And frankly, when you look at the totality of his career versus the totality of Harrison Burton's, a lot more unlikable. And there's been criticisms, but yeah. Jonathan brings a good point. 100th win for the Wood brothers. Can't forget about that. I almost forgot. I did forget. You're good. Thank you for reminding me. But it's kind of like with the Austin Dillon thing last week. And again, he's unlikable, so a lot of people disagreed, but I was just enjoying having an underdog winner. I'm somebody that watches for the individual races more than anything. The championship to me, whether it's a system I like or dislike, it's a bonus. I personally like underdog wins, redemptive wins, winners we don't normally get. I enjoy that. That's just me though. But I get people being upset about it. Totally think people will if something similar happens this time too. But I think it was a special moment. And I think if we have another underdog winner, if Cole Custer wins, if I think people might not look the same way in Ty Gibbs, I would be happy if Daniel Suarez, who's been pretty awful in the lower half of the top 30, wins. I think it'll be a great moment. Will we see a one-car yellow unlike last night? I hope not. I hope they're consistent with this. If there's nobody oncoming traffic, I hope we're consistent. Max, let's see. My pick for flip tonight is Ross Chastain. Well, who's leave the number in the chat. Who do you think is going to flip tonight? Not win, flip. Who's the most likely you think to flip tonight? Because I think there's a lot of very good options in this. I feel like Priest is the easiest option, but I'm seeing a ton of 4, 60, 77, 33, 11, never flipped in his career, 9. Yeah, when's the last time the most popular driver is like done a full on blowover? That's thing, you guys are going so fast, it's not registering on my end. So I had to like stop it. 60, 20. Nope, it's not registering, damn it. I'm seeing a bunch of them. 35, 88, 2, 34, 9, 22, 65. Oh, that's interesting. People in Florida got to watch on a different channel. I'm assuming preseason football is the reason why. That's going to affect the ratings. That's for sure. If we're looking at who I think, I don't know why it's coming to my head. It's come, just to me over time. I almost think there's 2 options that I'm going to give for who I think is likely to flip tonight. For one, it is the one everyone keeps saying is going to win, keeps telling me that things are going to turn around and they never do. Kyle Busch. I can totally see Kyle Busch flipping tonight. I could see that 8 car going up and over. On the other end, I could see Ryan Blaney checkers or wreckers. That's the way his season's been. And the 12 car gets up in the fence and he gets DNF number 9 and is still one of the best ones out there, points wise. I could see either of those. Let's see. Fred Dog, does host of our cause the big one early or late? I'm going to say late on that one. I'm going to say late. Herbert the pervert. I stand with 2311. Hashtag I stand with 2311. I stand with 2311. I can't do the Herbert the pervert voice. I used to, but my voice is so fried at this point. And let's see. Kevin Randolph with the 14-month member chat. Damn. Florida weather, 50-50 chance from January to December. You're completely right. Completely right. And we're gonna have rain be an issue at every Daytona race, even if it never pops up at any point. Let's see. Does the race start at 7:30 or TV coverage start at 7:30? So the pre-race, I think, will start in like the next couple minutes. We'll talk about the last couple stories and then we'll go from there. But that's when the green flag is supposed to be out. But they always change that stuff. So I can double check, but I think that's when it's supposed to be. Stories wise, I mean, Flames Enjoyer says opinions on the 25 cover, NASCAR 25. Personally, not really liking it. I'm gonna be honest. We knew Byron was gonna be on it. Blaney and Bell are also on it. I wonder if I can find the picture of it around here. I don't have the picture of it, or I'd put it on screen. Definitely we'll talk about it Wednesday. I'm not really a big fan of it either. Byron looks bored on it. Like, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. I'm kind of with y'all. I'm not really that crazy about it. So listen, I thing is, I don't care how it looks. I just want the game to play well. And it was pretty fun when I was there playing it, but I want to see that built on more than anything. I guess I can ask y'all in a poll. Do you like, if I can spell, the NASCAR 25 cover? And I'll go yes, no, or I don't care. So do you like the NASCAR 25 cover? Personally, meh, I don't care. I'm meh on it. Okay, yeah, 7:30 is in prayer ceremony. So, okay, is it that fucking? Does it matter? Like, we're talking about a 10-minute difference here, guys. Like, God, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, we're talking about 10 minutes. All right, So 7:30, yeah, okay. 7:30 is when the official broadcast starts after the pre-race. Then we do like 10 minutes of pre-race bullshit, and then we go live. Who fucking cares? All right, okay, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Who gives a damn? It's in the window. Sorry, I'm just okay. We're not really talking about that big of a fucking deal, guys. Like, it's a start time. Turn on the damn race and fucking watch it. Like, I'm not like that mad. It's just more, I'm just annoyed that we're fixating on shit that doesn't matter. It's the same damn thing every week. Who cares? All right. Who cares? Watch the race. On the other stuff, Connor Zilich is going to be going to the Cup race or the Cup Series with Trackhouse next year. This is my shocked face. I didn't know. I totally didn't know. None of us knew. None of us knew this was happening. Who knew that? Who knew that he was going to be going up to the Cup Series? I mean, for anyone who doesn't know sarcasm, we all knew. We all knew this was happening. It's an amazing week for him. He wins a race without being on the track and then gets to announce he's going up to Cup the very next day. My question, and I guess I'll put it on here. Another poll. I'll try and get polls as long as YouTube doesn't completely nuke it. But what number do you think he's going to be? Because somebody asked Justin Marks what the number would be, and there was no answer, and some have talked about like, well, he should be in the 87. He's run that in Cup so far, make a bit of a legacy with that. Some have said put him in the 88 and then have SVG run the 97 instead of the 99. Others said he'll just be in the 99. They're not going to mess with it. Who cares? We'll go from there. So I personally think it's probably going to end up being the 99. I think that a lot of this is just more to kind of drum up talk about it a little bit, which, yeah, whatever. I guess, whatever. I think it's going to be the 99. We're going to drum up some talking points, and then we're going to go from, there. I would want it to be 87 personally. I'd be okay with it being the 87. Just because I think that it would be cool to have, especially if he pans out like we think he's gonna, a young driver, build his own kind of legacy, build his own brand, and end up, building a new number, a new, just a new kind of push forward. I would want him to be 87. And I think it's probably on the table. I think it also probably depends on the Red Bull side of it, what they would want too. But I don't think he goes the 88. I don't think they change it up. I don't think SVG gets a new number. I think he's either an 87 or 99 next year. Last couple of cleanup things, and then we'll finish it off. Two things here. They both have to do with tracks coming back or not coming back. The Nashville Fairgrounds. There was a bit of talk with the Fairgrounds. We talked about the rumors this week. The local Fox affiliate for Nashville started saying that it was coming back and put a bunch of details out. They have since retracted that. Yes, I know the pre-race is on, guys. Like, okay, I get it. They've retracted it. They've retracted their statements on it. They've retracted that it's happening. The mayor's office came out and said we have no plans at the moment. So we got blue balled, y'all. We did not beat the Karens, as Timmy Wolf said. We beat the Karens. I find it funny. Adam Stern is putting all this stuff about it happening out there, but then the damn moment it's retracted, he never says a freaking thing about it. Come on, Adam, put it out there. I'm talking about it, but I want it to happen, but the local politics are so stupid with it all. Like, maybe something's announced the next week or two, and they're trying to like mitigate it so they can have a big like shock announcement or whatever. But it's totally I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when the cars are on track. I'll believe it when city politics aren't stupid, because I hate politics, especially city politics. They're just so mundane and dumb. Let's see. You're being a sourpuss? Okay, you don't have to watch. Like, what's funny, okay, so this is funny, is a lot of people will get on me for being like, you don't criticize people when they say stuff in the chat. And then I'll like say stuff in the chat about what y'all are saying in the chat, or I'll have a little edge to me, and you guys are like, "You're being a meanie," and it's like, okay, like pick a lane, y'all. Pick a lane. What? I'm having fun with it. Again, maybe it's just I'm having like that short fuse day. Everybody has it. I have them too. I'm live like every other day during the year. Eventually, you're gonna have me being a little bit of a dick. I would cry. I love the Vance memes, man. Those are so freaking funny. I would cry tears of joy if Kyle Busch wins. You and a lot of people will. One last thing kind of to touch on, then we'll get the super chat cooldown lap. The Ben Kennedy was interviewed, and he talked about the stuff going on with Chicagoland Speedway. It is not getting repaved. So we can put that to bed at least for a year. It's not getting repaved. So just saying. I'm glad it's not. I want to see this car on a 26-year-old surface. It's going to be probably the equivalent of the next gen's version of Atlanta, the way that was with the Gen 6 before the rebrand and the repackaging of it. Last couple things here. Super chat cool down lap, and I'm watching y'all in the chat. Okay, that's actually pretty damn good. Little and Dick definitely goes with the iceberg. I gotta say that's pretty good joke. That's pretty good. Props to you. That was pretty good. Don't my wife would disagree. Let's see. Jeffrey King, I think, is where we'll pick off. Go Elliott, win the race. Go Bowman, get in the playoffs. I feel like Elliott kind of owes Bowman a little bit. So maybe it might be the other way around. Herbert says, how late will NASCAR go? 2 a.m. Use the voice. I can't get the Herbert voice right now, but I think NASCAR will probably try and push it as long as they can. It's up to NBC. NBC's shown they'll push it before, so I hope they do. Knock on wood, right? Crash the Hedgehog says, probably already talked about it, but hyped for Ram and Kaulig next year. I wonder what numbers and drivers, since they're running 5 trucks. That's the thing. They're probably just going to pick whatever is free that is within their brand. Or maybe buy out other numbers too that are theirs. The thing, I think, there's talk of Cletus McFarland being one of them. I think Daniel Dye will probably be in a lot of it if they move him even down to Xfinity, or from Xfinity, I should say. So we could have that. We'll probably find out later. There's a lot of people pushing to like be put in those trucks, and there's going to be free agents too. So, hey, you know what? I'm just glad that we got Ram back and we have them all back. Fred Doug, are we there yet? Jarrett, that's it. I'm turning this pre-race show or pre-taste show around and driving home. That's pretty much the attitude I have tonight. Young Money says, what were your thoughts on NASCAR not throwing a caution for the spinning cars during Xfinity race yesterday? I hope it's something they move forward with. I hope this is the precedent, because if there's no one coming and the car can keep going, I hope they're able to. Thing is, if there's flat tires with the next gen, that's the only issue. Irvin Alvarado says, embrace your heel side sometimes. Being the bad guy is fine. As for the race tonight, sit back, relax, and let the BS come. All I want is a fun race. I feel like I've embraced it a little bit. Yeah. As for the race, yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy it for what it is. I feel like I haven't had as many like ranty post races and stuff, and I feel like this could be a big option. I hope not, especially after how much fun last week was. Brian says, what's your favorite paint scheme this week? Personally, I like the purple one on Ross Chastain's, but I probably have to go with Suarez this week. I think Suarez is my favorite. And then Brandon here with this, I think the last one, unless another one pops up, saying, let's just hope Ryan Preece doesn't flip this time. He's essentially the modern version of Elliott Sadler or Ryan Newman. Yeah, I hope he doesn't. But tis the way Daytona goes. And then Evelyn Rose Blue saying, is it me or is Tampa, Florida not showing the race So I believe if I heard right, it might be on the CW. Local CW is where they would push it. I know a lot of Florida stations are pushing it to the side because of like preseason football. And to be honest, I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, screw football, but it's like preseason football is going to draw more eyes than NASCAR. And that's the sad truth. NASCAR at Daytona on big NBC will get less viewers than a preseason football game on NBC, especially if it's a local team. So I think CW is where it would be pushed. I know some people that I know live in Florida have said that's the one that's going to have it. If not, I would assume they'd probably have it on Peacock. I hope you're able to find it. So I hope so, man. And I see how they're saying it's on Peacock. So if it's not on big NBC, it's on the cock. And then Big Hecken saying, I'm sure you talked about it yesterday, but Kligerman has 2 wins at Daytona in a season and 0 credited wins. Yeah, I saw that. And we all know who won. Right? Like, we all know who won. So I just, he even brought it up like it's the most Parker Kligerman thing. All right, y'all. I will put up the other stream probably in about 20 or so minutes whenever they're about to go green. I appreciate y'all coming in. Thank you. Jeffrey says Rudy Fugel got caught red-handed. Yes, he did. He did. And that's going to be a big, big problem for that 24 team. I still have faith in the 24 team though. But we'll be live after the race. We'll put the stream up in a little bit and it'll probably be up in 20, 30 minutes, give or take. It'll be up before the green flag, more than likely. So hang out in there if you want. Enjoy the race. Maybe I'll be in a better mood or something after. All right. Thank you guys for coming on out. I appreciate you guys. We'll probably do a pre-race. Well, we might do a pre-race next week too. We'll see. Let's hope for a good race. Knock on wood. Have a great time. And I'll talk to you in a bit later tonight. All right. Have fun.